Delicious. Now that's what I call protein leveraging.
Welcome to another edition of Smelly's Kitchen. We got a special summer edition where I want you guys to be able to go to some of the parties that you're gonna go to with nutritious and delicious foods. This one is real simple, this one's real easy, or maybe this is just because you wanna cook this up at home. But these are just some beef short ribs, and I'm just gonna throw them on this guy over here. The key, I think, is to get this sucker smoking. This griddle, you want it to be smoking a little bit. I put it at like 450. I'm just gonna season it a little bit, gonna chuck it on there. And because these are thin, I'm gonna flip them fairly quickly, and it shouldn't take very long. So I got some salt, gonna dump some salt on there. And I have some meat chilada. This stuff right here is really good. Again, use your own stuff. Like, don't sit there and be like, I don't have that, so I can't make whatever. Don't use that as like a limitation. Just use what you got in your house for now and kind of experiment. We have another layer of meat below this, I believe. So I'm gonna flip these guys over and make sure everything gets seasoned up properly. Again, we're trying to use some protein leveraging. The more we eat protein, the more that we stick with protein, the easier it's gonna be to stick to our diet, because protein helps a ton with keeping you satiated, keeping you feeling full. Sometimes some of the foods that satiate us, like chicken and like meat and stuff like that, they are very savory, and sometimes they're not always, even though they're satiating and they help fill us up a little bit, they're not always the most satisfying. And so we need to get an abundance of flavors going. And I'm a guy that eats primarily meat and fruit, and because of that, I gotta kind of get creative, and I gotta eat a lot of different meat. I've showed you on Smelly's Kitchen all kinds of different stuff. I showed you how to kind of make a pizza. I showed you how to cook hot dogs and hamburgers and all kinds of things. And so I think sometimes when we think about meat, we think that we're super limited on the choices that we have. I showed you how to cook up some pork butt in a crock pot. I showed you how to cook a good variety of things. And now we got these beef short ribs as yet another weapon to help us to be able to kind of scratch the itch of not only just feeling full, but feeling like really satisfied from the meal as well. And something I've learned over the years, and something that has resonated a lot with some people that I've helped. The other side of this is like, you shouldn't have to be a 6-year-old kid where every single meal is always a party. You're an adult at this point, and you should be able to manage your food a little bit easier than maybe when you were a kid and we were fed a lot of junk, and maybe those things that were done, maybe those things that we did as a kid, maybe they were wrong, maybe they weren't good, maybe they weren't in our best interest, because maybe it attached us too much to some of those unhealthy foods. So now it's time to learn the real flavor of real food. So I'm gonna throw these short ribs over here. You can see this griddle's got a good little smoke going there. There are some people that really like this style of griddle. I have a Black Point grill as well that I utilize sometimes. But for today, we're keeping it inside and we're going right here. We do not need this to cook for a long time. These are fattier pieces of meat, as you can see. Still a lot of protein in here, but this is gonna be calorically dense. And the way that I personally like to alter that is throughout the day, I may have leaner sources of protein on a day that I'm gonna eat something like this. Or I may just have some steak shake. Or some This Is the Way protein, which is almost like 100% protein. There's hardly any other calories coming from anywhere. So those are good lean choices of protein. Oh yeah, look at that. They're all gonna fit. You guys were sweating it, thinking I'm a rookie. But watch, it'll all fit, because it's shrinking down. You know about shrinkage? It shrinks as you cook it. Oh, we got 2 more on there. It's gonna be a close call. Oh my God. By the time we get to the end of this row, it's gonna be perfect time to flippy flipperoo. And look, it looks like we don't have room, but watch this. Whoa, down the side. But you know about that move, because this side thingy over here is hot too, so we'll just use that. So we can tell that this first guy is ready to flip because you can see that underneath there, it's turning a different color, right? These, by the way, they're gonna blow your mind. These things taste so good. If you wanna get these, they might also be known as flanken style ribs. Oh, look at that. Perfect, we got a little crisp on there. We'll flip all of these. Kaya. Oh, look at that. We're having a party. When you fill yourself up with the nutrients that you need, when you fill up your cup every single day for the amount of protein that you need, which would approximately be 1 gram per pound of body weight, I said approximately, or you can even do 1 gram of protein per pound of lean mass, or 1 gram of protein per just pound that you weigh. You kind of do it either way. It doesn't really matter that much because in my opinion, protein is kind of a free calorie. So when we fill up our cup every day for the amount of protein that we need, and we also get in the fat that we need, which a lot of times can be about half, and sometimes all the way down to 1/4 of the amount of protein that you need. So if you need 200 grams of protein per day, then you might only need about 100 grams of protein, or you might only need about, or I'm sorry, if you weigh about 200 pounds and you think you need about 200 grams of protein per day, then you might only need about 100 grams of fat per day. Also all the way down to maybe about 50 grams, but you don't want to go lower than that because it can mess with your hormones. Then the carbohydrates are kind of up to you on how much activity you think that you have. So if you're a really active person, you might want those carbs to be a little higher. If you're somebody that likes to work out maybe multiple times a day, maybe you eat a good amount of carbs, 200-300 grams of carbs a day. If you feel like you're less active, then I think it's important to bring those carbohydrates down. And if you're not active hardly at all, I think it's good to follow a very, very low carb diet. I'm gonna take these guys off of here. I think that guy back there is done. No reason to have this on anymore. Just gonna give these guys one more flipperoo. Look at that, huh? Oh my God. Oh, it's going right into my face, the smoke. Now we just play a little bit of the waiting game. Gonna let these suckers cool down. We're gonna try them out. All right, the short ribs have most likely cooled down. I used this highly advanced technological thing to keep them somewhat warm. Remember, there's no rules in Smelly's kitchen, so I just horked an extra pan on there. Chris Bella, if we can get you in here to try some out. Let me try some out right here.
Love to try these out.
Yeah, get in there, buddy. These make you feel like a savage. You gotta really bite and like pull away.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of tissue in there to pull apart. It's all very edible though.
Delicious. Now that's what I call protein leverage.
That's another episode of Smelly's Kitchen. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.